Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm actually working on some final line art for my animation for scene 3. So essentially, I'm at a point where I am putting the final line art on this foreground character. He is an elf, and he's just doing some simple action like walking forward across the screen. I only have a few more frames to do as I was working on this offline, off stream, yesterday and a little bit the day before. Mm. So I will say for me at least that one of the hardest things for me to work on is actually the nose. Because now at least what's happening with this character is he is slowly sort of shifting his face. So that means that I now need to show less of the other side of his face and more of the right side of his face. I also have to show more of his ear because of the way his head is turning. What helps me at least is sometimes I actually like to sort of rough out the chin because I can always go back and erase portions of it. Even though, in my opinion, Adobe Anime isn't really too keen on erasing stuff. You usually have to, what is it? It's usually better to actually just go back, do Control Z rather than erase stuff, because sometimes you run into the problem where because it's a vector program, you have to like the edges that you erase won't be as smooth. They'll actually be rather sharp, which can affect the final product. And sometimes it actually is okay to manually move your stuff. Like if you like the way you had drawn something, you just don't like how far low it is or how high it is. You can use the Lasso Tool, which is this nice tool here, and a lot of software has it, where you can just loop around the area that you want to move, and then you can move it up or left, down to the right, wherever. Now, I will also point out one of my shortcomings is usually when I am like roughing out the head, I'll accidentally use an oval. You see the oval right here. Like I'll use an oval instead of the instead of a circle, and that actually ends up giving my characters a sort of shorter head. Like if you, it's actually something that I personally don't like, and I'm trying to work on. Is my characters will have like short foreheads, and then I'll have to like fix it. I mean, honestly, I think I got into that habit like maybe subconsciously because like okay, so this is gonna be like a long explanation. So there's this show called Code Lyoko, and one of the biggest things that gets memed on is the fact that a lot of the characters, especially like the main character, one of the main characters, no, all the main characters, all the main characters have big heads. So like, I guess, I don't want my characters to be treated that way. So I'm sort of like subconsciously overcompensating for it by, not giving my characters too big of a head. It's something I have to work on and not worry too much about. I mean, but hey, like you're always gonna have a critic, or you're always gonna have someone who is less than kind about your art, no matter how hard you work on it or what you do. So I guess it's really par for the course for an artist. Like you see it right here. Like this dude has practically no forehead. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Actually, no, it does matter. But like, I can't really do anything about it now. This late into production. Oh, and another thing. What I am doing is I am clipping back and forth. While yes, onion skinning does exist, there are going to be times where you may not want to onion skin, or your multiple layers are sort of like messing with your eyes or toying with your eyes. So you're actually going to want to just quickly clip back and then clip forward and draw something. Like with this right here, I'm about to draw his eyes, and I actually need them to be aligned with the ear. So how I proportion it is the midpoint of the eyes are aligned with the top of the ear, or the top of the segment of the ear where it connects to your head. So I have to align my ears that way. And sometimes I have to adjust for curvature as well. So the midpoint of his eye is right here. So that means that the bottom half is going to appear right there. And actually, the starting point was good, but the ending angle was too high. I want to bring it lower. I think that's better. Shoot. I mean, honestly, I bet you guys are probably bored of me. Like, this animation thing is taking too long. Honestly, I love it. I think animation is fun. Time consuming, but fun. I love doing it. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually trying to find this sort of red rough area where I had roughed out the pathway for another character. So what it's doing to me right now is it's actually sort of affecting my perception. I can't really see what I'm drawing too well. What's this? So I'm actually going to highlight this layer. And do I need to highlight this layer? I think I can. No, I'm going to keep this one present just in case I need it for something. I also want to get rid of that green layer. So yeah, I am. So right now, what I am doing is I am limiting what I am perceiving, so that when I go back, I am limiting what I am perceiving, so that I can concentrate on the area that I'm actually drawing and working on. And it's really more of a sort of slice of life concept. It's not really something that is that talked about. I'm not going to say it's not that well known, but it's not something that is sort of thought of. People usually put it in the back burner. Like it's just something, either some people automatically do it, or others just don't worry about it and they can draw, easily separate what they're drawing and just focus on that. But sometimes keeping all of your layers visible can hurt you. It can cause your eyes to sort of play tricks on you, or you can't really concentrate on what you need to be drawing. So it works for me, but not everybody is going to have that issue, or not everybody is sort of worried about it. Oh yeah, whether you guys have figured it out or not, I mean, you guys probably read this and said, "Oh, he's drawing an elf," or "Oh, pointy ears, it's an elf." Like, yeah, it's an elf. It's probably gonna be like a blonde elf, or maybe like a dark-haired elf. So I guess I can really go over elves as a race in this world, but essentially after the Cascade, yes, that's the sort of what's it called? Uh, that's the apocalyptic event, which is the Cascade. When magic was reintroduced, those who did not go into bunkers, they became one of several magical races known as elves. Essentially, so generally, what happened was, because magic was introduced, people were directly exposed to raw magic, and that sort of raw exposure altered them physic it altered them physically and spiritually. And so for elves in particular, when they were altered, these elves were likely in different locations. So they were like, so for elves, they were probably in in forests when the cascade hit, or they were near the sea, or they were like trying to find some sort of like cave or something to hide in. And the surrounding the surrounding magic from their environment, as well as their own magic, sort of warped them to become taller and have pointed ears. And that is essentially why elves exist. It's really okay. I'm gonna be honest because I can't lie to you guys. It's really just an excuse to have like beautiful elf creatures, and to also have like hot beastmen and beast women, or like cat girls and like wolf boys. Don't judge me. Actually, no. You know what? No. You guys can judge me because you guys are here to judge me. You guys are here to watch me talk and just think to yourself or just laugh to yourself. Hey, this dude is crazy. It's fine. I already know. I know what you guys are about. I know my audience. I am a man of culture, or at the very least, I try to be. So, there are no secrets here. Now, when it comes to the fashion department of these characters and of the show, I didn't want to go full fantasy because the issue with going full fantasy is ball gowns and dresses and tunics, they exist for a reason. This world is still a technologically advanced world. Like, cars still exist, phones still exist. This scene right here, give me a second. This scene right here exists in a city, in a big, fairly populated city. Sure, there are like floating islands, but it's still a very modern city. It's just modern on steroids or like modern plus. So I didn't really want to have it set in a world where technology reset because I feel like that's a bit overdone because there are some shows and anime out there that takes place in a sort of fantasy setting, but what they do is they'll usually have an apocalyptic event that takes the world back to the Middle Ages, where people are still using wood stoves or like have to manually chop wood. Which we there are like loggers. People still harvest wood, but it's more so like a very simplistic way of living. And that's not really what I want for Witches 13. That's not really what I want for this world is I don't want another fantasy world where there's no technology. It's like no, it takes place in a world where technology still exists. Like, yeah, you have elves and you have magic, but people also still have phones. This world views magic as a sort of energy source, a green and renewable energy. And so that's really a theme that I want to hammer home and carry, which is why you're not going to see many characters with which is why you're not going to see many characters wearing tunics or wielding swords. Like, literally, if you see someone carrying a sword or carrying a plasma sword, more than likely it's because, like, their character is just some kind of nerd and they think it's cool because they're an elf person now or because they were, like, born with cat ears or something. It's not really that deep. Now, as for the eyes, okay, so I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not sure if I want to fully color this character. This really serves as a sort of, how should I put it? I'm blocking out what the character looks like, but like his eyes are, but like his entire figure is probably just gonna be gray because he does appear in the foreground. And I mean, it's a time saver, yeah, but I don't know. I could fully color him. Excuse me 1 second while I get some water. I'll try not to be too loud. Okay, better. Dang, this is actually pretty bad, right? At least right here, at least. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a bird outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but it's like squawking. Actually kind of nice and calming. Now then, let's see here. Actually, gonna have to zoom in for this, get a closer look. Let's see right here. You know, sometimes it actually helps to do the obscured eye first. I think the next stream I work on, it's probably going to be me working on a few assets because I do need to draw the background as well as the props like the benches and the plants and stuff on different layers. And personally, I think it would actually look better if I had them all on different layers rather than, you know, putting rather than, drawing something out in animate or like drawing everything on one back layer. Because there was actually this graphic I saw in the past. It was like a layered background where it's hard to describe, but like each different sort of piece of the background was on a different layer, or groups of things were on different layers, and then how it stacked up when you animated something onto it, it gave a real sort of sense of depth. And I want to try that at least for this animation. I don't know if you guys can hear that either, but I think there's like a kid up. There is a kid outside. She's just saying hi. I think she's walking back to her house. Dang, like, I live in like a pretty quiet neighborhood. Like, nothing ever really happens here. Like, honestly, the only time stuff happens is, I'm gonna be honest, it's usually stuff that happens, like, at my house. Like, sometimes family will come over, but there was like this one time. It was my freaking graduation party. And like, oh Lord. It was my graduation party. And my uncle, he was making a fool of himself. Like, he was drunk, he was belligerent, he was insulting folks, and like, that's why I didn't want to invite too many folks I know. Like, I didn't really invite people from high school or my college. I didn't invite people from my college because like they're graduating too, or like they were still in Greenville. But like imagine that, like having my friends come to my graduation party, and then it's like they hear my uncle like call somebody nappy headed, or insult the way people look or dress, or like calling people fat and stuff like that. Like, it was demoralizing, it was demeaning. Like, I'm glad that I didn't invite. And you know, it is kind of sad because it is sad when you have friends and you're afraid to invite them places because of the way your family is, or the way you fear your family will behave. Like, that is sad. I don't think anyone should be afraid to show people their family. But like, like we had to call the cops on him. I almost had to fight my uncle. He fought his roommate, and then I had to like put my uncle in a hold while my mom and my aunt, they called the police. Like, it was that horrible. It was that bad. And since that day, since what was it? July? No, not July. Since June the 17th, I haven't seen my uncle in person. Like, he is not allowed to come over to my house. No, sir, no, ma'am. It really was that horrible. And then he would like made snide remarks like, "Oh, I wish you invited me to your graduation. I wish I could have been there in the stadium to see you walk across the aisle." And I'm like, "Oh Lord, have mercy!" Like, he would have made a really big scene. I wouldn't be able to show my face in Greenville ever again after that. If he went on campus, like, I'm telling you right now, millennials and Gen Z, like, they probably would have beat him down. I'm not even gonna front. Like, they probably would have beat him up there. They would have to scoop him off the ground. And like, I'm not trying to like be disrespectful or anything. I'm not trying to like, demean or demoralize my uncle. But like, he if he went to a public place with that attitude, like, I honestly fear for him. And then it's like, my family is just crazy. Like, I could go off on my family, but you know what? No, like this is just the stuff that I feel comfortable, bringing up, like, cause there are some things, but no, I'm not gonna talk about it like that. That's family business. It stays family business. Okay. Well, I'm starting to feel a bit of burnout working on this elf for so long. But all in all, at least with this scene, I feel like I'm making good time with it. I only have like maybe 5 more frames to do. Actually, two, three, four. Yeah, I only have 5 more frames to do. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's not really taking me that long. Now, what I should have done is I probably should have drawn the head on a different layer rather than draw it all on one layer. I just wasn't thinking that far ahead because I had thought it was going to be this. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was just going to be like simple and easy where all I had to do was draw the body and then like draw the head sort of making small slight movements. But as but now that I go back and see, like, there are some discrepancies that I'm gonna have to account for. However, now it's too late. But yeah, I think I can sort of diminish the actual impact depending on which colors I use. Like I'll probably just this will probably just be like a shadow figure or like a character that's like all black or in shadow or something. So then people don't really call attention to the character itself. I still have the couple that's walking forward in the middle ground, and this guy who was sitting on a bench in the background, and then this wolfman right here. But like, all in all, I am actually making some good headway, some good time with this animation. And at least for scene 3, it feels like I'm almost done. And yeah, I'm actually gonna have to go in and edit the names of these scenes. I do still need to add tweens for this one, but it's coming along good. This scene, the data corrupted or the save corrupted, so I actually have to go back and recolor in some stuff, refill some stuff. Uh, I still have yet to redo this scene, and this scene just needs some coloring. It needs some coloring still. But yeah, this has been just overall a really fun, a really nice project to work on. Oh, I must have disorganized them. So actually, yeah, let me do that right now. Can I rename these scenes? I guess I can't, um, or maybe that's not our feature yet. But yeah, all in all, everything's coming in nice. Everything's doing pretty good. I am having fun, and I'm also making sure that I, pace myself, and I'm careful. I don't. I try not to dedicate too much time to this. So yeah, this has been Owo's Corner, my own little corner of art. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. And this has been a fun project to work on and to tell you guys about. I'm so excited to get this teaser done, and then I can start writing for the pilot, and who knows where else this may take me. But yeah, I try not to be too idle. I try to keep busy and keep my skills sharp while I'm waiting for one of my job applications to come back. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to burden you guys too much. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own corner of art. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.